right here, right now, on your favorite channel. Alright, it's March 2023, time to make another video about trading paints and AI collections. Let's get right into it. As I record this on March 18th, 2023, there is a known issue with iRacing not loading AI paint schemes from a collection on a replay. When you run the session, everything loads just fine, but when you go to a saved replay, you get no paint jobs loading in. It's just the stock iRacing red, white, and blue paint jobs. This is not a trading paints issue. It is iRacing. I sent in a support ticket. They got back with me real quick. Plus, there's been some threads on the forums about it, and iRacing is aware of the issue and said that they will reconcile this as soon as they can. On the 21st, in about 3 days here of March 2023, is a patch coming in. Hopefully it'll take care of it then. But like I said, it's a known issue. It's nothing between you or trading paints, and well, there's a problem. Okay, so they're aware of it and they're working on it. Okay, first off, we're going to talk about paints not loading as you have downloaded an AI collection. This has been a long-running issue, and quite frankly, there's not much of a workaround. It's just trial and error and repetitiveness. The basics that I have found that works is if you favorite an AI collection and you get most of the paint jobs loading, but there's several cars where the paint jobs are not loading. First thing you want to do is go to your documents file, open that up, and then I've created a folder on here called My iRacing Stuff, where I store a whole bunch of iRacing programs and stuff. Okay, and then I have a folder in there called AI Rosters. Okay, so you're on Trading Paints and you have favorited a collection. You run the session, most of the paints load, but there's 3 or 4 that do not load. Before you exit out of iRacing, go to your Documents folder, iRacing, AI Rosters, find that AI collection, copy it over into your save folder so you personally have that. Exit out of iRacing and then reload that session and see if more paint jobs have loaded than what happened before. You may find that a paint job that didn't load the first time loads this second time. However, paint jobs that loaded the first time are not loading now. Before you exit out of iRacing, go back to your documents, iRacing AI Rosters, find the roster that you're working with, copy and paste that over into your save folder and ask it to overwrite. Remember, you've got a paint over here already saved that may not be loading this time, and you're missing a paint that did load this time. Copy and overwrite over here on your personal storage folder, and then now you've got more paints than you had the first time. You know, sometimes 2 or 3 tries will get you all the paints, you know, at one point or another, and then you put them all over here and you've got them over here. If that does not work, you can jump through some more hoops that I have found to work at times, which is when you're in Trading Paints, unfavorite the collection. Now, for ease to find that again, I personally bookmark those. Okay, under a folder, under an iRacing bookmark that I have. Where's that? There it is, AI Rosters. Okay, I just store them there. Then I don't have to go through the hoops of searching for them again. Okay, unfavorite the collection, sign out, close out your browser. It might even be beneficial, and I've done this, I don't know which step actually triggers it. I will reboot my computer. Okay, once the computer's back up and running, go to Trading Paints, re-sign in, find that collection, re-favorite, go back into iRacing, see if that roster's there, load it up in a session, and see if you get more paints. I've had some viewers report that that works perfectly, jumping through all those hoops. I've had other viewers that say nothing seems to work for them. However, a couple days later when they went back in, everything loaded just fine. I have found out on another YouTube video and some threads that during heavy use periods, like say when they were running the 24 hours of Bathurst or 24 hours of Daytona, when there's just tons of people there racing live, utilizing bandwidth, if you will, from trading paints to iRacing, that can cause some loading issues. And I also think that I've noticed that if a collection creator is constantly changing the collection, changing paints, adding paints, taking paints out, changing the names, changing the numbers, yada yada yada, that sometimes it takes a day or two for everything to smooth out. That's what I found out, and that's what others have reported. You know, jump through all those hoops, signing in and out, rebooting the computer. Sooner or later, in enough tries, you're going to collect all the paints, and as you collect the paints, like I said, put them over in your personal storage folder so you have them, because remember, every time you close out from iRacing, the paints will unload from the folder to save room on the computer. So every time that you go back in there and fire it back up, like I said, you might get some paints that you didn't have the last time, and yada yada. And then ultimately over here where your storage is, you will have all the paints. So what good does it do to have all these paints on your computer? Well, the next time you go race a truck, say the trucks, what you could do is you go find the collection that doesn't have those paints in them and transfer them over into the folder before you even start iRacing, and then they should all load because you've already got them in the folder that iRacing is reading the paints from. It won't be reading it from trading paints. You've already got them in there. Now we can take this one step further, and I got to give a shout out to XJ Simulations. Their video is where I found out about this trick. So the Craftsman truck roster that I'm currently using is called 2023 Truck Roster from Jonathan Foch. Thank you very much for what you do. So here it is over in my personal save folder. The code on it is 124647. I have renamed this folder over here Local 2023 Trucks. And this is the collection as I captured it. Took 2 or 3 tries, and I've got all the car paints in this folder. What you can do, and what I have done, is copy this folder over into your iRacing AI roster folder. Then that will show up in the UI of the opponent rosters, and you can point to that directly when you're setting up a season. Let's go do that. Okay, here we are in iRacing under AI Racing, opponent rosters. This one over here on the right hand side, Local 2023 Trucks 124647. And I have unfavorited and deleted from this opponent roster the folder for the AI collection from Trading Paints of this 124647. So all that's in here now is my complete folder. So you'd go to a season, manage, edit, AI opponents. Let's just say that I had the original here. Number one, it would say it's not showing up because I've deleted it and I've unfavorited it. So then I'd use the drop down menu, find Local 2023 Trucks 124647, and select that and save. So now when you fire up that season with the AI, it will read from this folder where everything's there already and it's ready to go every time that you're ready to race your AI season without having to copy it over to ensure that TP, Trading Paints, loads in every paint. Now, if I had not unfavorited this collection, it would show in here naturally. So you'd have either one to choose from. But, you know, by having the hard folder, the complete folder over here, and that's the one you point to on your opponents for any AI season or race, they'll just load up right away. Okay, you've got your AI collection fully collected. You've done it several times, or maybe you got lucky on the first time. You have all of the paints, and you have taken that file and moved it over into a folder in your documents under My iRacing stuff or whatever for safekeeping. Over here on this copy that is being loaded up from Trading Paints under your Documents iRacing AI Rosters folder. Now, I don't have paints in this because I have not loaded this one yet, but click on the roster file. That's just a notepad. This is the information that, you know, shows each driver, their name, their age, their skills. It points to the TGA file, you know, that shows the color scheme. This is a mess. Let's clean this up. Open up the iRacing UI. Under the AI Racing tab, click on Opponent Rosters. We're looking for that specific file. There it is. Here is the opponent roster. And with the drop-down arrow here, you can change anything in here. The relative skill, their age, the smoothness, and so on and so forth. But you see here, for some reason or other, under Stuart Friesen here, the individual that created this collection did not do anything with his skills. Okay, so we're going to change that. But under anybody, we'll do Grant Enfinger here. Just change anything by about one number. Okay, save edits. We can back out of this. Minimize the UI. We'll come back to the roster here. Look at that. Look at that. Everything is broken down. Easy to, because you can edit these if you wanted, the driver age and so on and so forth. But this is very handy for if you find a driver's paint in one collection that you wish to transfer to another collection. So I have a collection of trucks that I've been using, but it did not have Norm Benning. But this collection over here by another individual does have Norm. Okay, so I want to add Norm Benning from this collection over into this collection here that I have saved on my documents, you know, my personal copy. So we're going to open that up. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom. Note, every little period and dot and mark in this notepad, computerese, has to be exactly where it's supposed to be or it isn't going to work, including these down at the bottom here. Okay, you also notice that once we cleaned everything up from that, all that, you know, straight line stuff, there's an ID number that was not there before, and there's a row index. And all that does is determine how the drivers line up in the iRacing opponent list, how they're stacked. You could go through here and change all of these and have them in either alphabetical order or car numerical order. It's up to you. I'm not going to worry about that. But over here we have Norm. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, go down here to, on the left-hand side, row 28, just do an enter to give us some room there. Then we're going to use our keyboard and bring that over to there. Okay, back over on this page. And we're going to have to clean this up a little bit here for the spacing. At the top here, after the end of the last driver prior to Norm, we're going to copy everything. Actually, we don't need to copy these last three because they're there. Okay, copy everything down to index row 31. Copy. Paste. Now we're going to have to clean this up just a little bit here. Get these where they should be. Right there. These stayed here. Row 28. We'll replace this 31 with 29. File, save. Then Norm's car is 294,486. Oh, we have to load this up in a session in order to get that car. I'll be right back. Norm! There he is. Okay, so don't close out the iRacing session. Just minimize it. What was Norm's number again? 294,486. There it is right there. And copy that over into my personal storage trucks collection that I'm using. We already transferred over the text. Now we just copied over the number. Norm is now from one collection to another collection, the collection that I'm using. And here now we see Norm being represented in the opponent roster of the collection that I have kind of pieced together from two collections using the manner that I just showed you. And there's Norm's paint job, H&H Transport Incorporated, Woodstock, Georgia. Pretty plain black truck with a yellow number 6. You know, the boy doesn't have too much money behind him, and I don't even know if he's running at all this year. I've just always liked racing with Norm Benning. All right. One thing to remember, if you make any changes in an AI opponent roster using the UI wizard in iRacing, any of the skill levels or the paint, the custom, whatever, the driver name, the number, whatever, and you save that edit, remember that that affects what is under the iRacing AI roster folder, and if you make a change, then copy that and overwrite back to your hard copy saved on your side of the computer. Something that you may notice under the iRacing AI rosters folder, like I have here, some of these collections have been deleted and I've unfavored them, yet I don't know why they're still loading in. I can delete them out of this folder, but the next time I fire up iRacing, they load again. Like the Spec Racer Ford Invitational that I had, I deleted that. I've deleted that Spec Racer for AI. I've deleted AI testing. They all come back. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I can't find them anywhere on Trading Paints because, like the Spec Ford Racer, they changed that model, so all the paint jobs that were done previous to the change a year ago no longer fit the car. because the car body model changed. You know, so anyway, sometimes you just got to put up with a little bit of glitch here. And like I said, these will never be used again. They have absolutely nothing under them, but they just keep showing up. Alright guys and gals, that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully you can take something from this video and put it to use for yourself. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and hope to see you next time.